Also, not that we expect this to happen, but anyone engaging in disrespectful behavior will be removed from the room and will not be permitted to re-enter. I'd also like to mention that everyone will be muted and their videos will be off. Just a few words about questions. Keep in mind that this session is delivered by both Student Accessibility Services and Student Advocacy on the topic of student support. The presenters are very knowledgeable in the subject matter they'll cover, but may not be aware of things outside of the scope of the presentation. If your questions pertain to things outside of the student support topic, you may want to search umanitoba.ca for information. The U of M website is always a good place to start. Just use the search bar to ask your questions, and there are dedicated offices to help. For example, admissions, the International Center, the Student Life, and the First Year Center, just to name a few. Also, we often find that most questions that students have are actually answered during these presentations. So please hold on to your questions and we'll make sure that we get to them before finishing up. For now, the chat is disabled. Once we open it up for questions, please be aware that the chat is publicly visible and there's no private chat between participants other than hosts and co-hosts. Having said all that, I'll turn things over to our presenters, Heather Maurice and Carolyn Christie, the Directors of Student Accessibility Services and Student Advocacy, to introduce themselves and start the session.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So my name is Heather Morris, and I'm the Director of Student Advocacy and Case Management here at the university. I wanted to start by welcoming everyone to the University of Manitoba. And we're here today to let you know about some of the different offices that are available under student support during your time here as a student. In case you're wondering why student support exists, the main reason is that as you enter this new phase of your life, you may encounter many new and unexpected challenges during your time here. This could be personal circumstances, health circumstances, relationships, family issues. And we want you to know that a variety of supports are available to help you during this time. Student success is our goal, and so we want to ensure that any challenges that you encounter during your time here as a student don't negatively affect your academics. So during our session today, I'm just trying to advance the slide here. Just give me a sec. It's a little bit slow. There we go. So Carolyn and I are going to take turns going through some of the different student support offices that are available to help you, and we'll just provide a brief summary about what they do. We don't expect that you're necessarily going to memorize every detail of these services, but we just want you to keep them in the back of your mind. So if something does come up during your time here, that you know there is most likely a place that you can go to get assistance. On each slide, we have included some of the detailed contact information for each of the services. But it's important to know that for the foreseeable future, all of our services are being offered remotely, so by phone, email, virtual appointments. Although we do have some office numbers on the slides, what will be most useful for you are the phone numbers and the website information available. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Carolyn.
Hi, everyone. I would say it's great to see you here, but I just see screens, so that's lovely too, and I'm glad that you joined us this morning. So I first wanted to talk about the Student Counseling Center. So the Student Counseling Center is on our 4th floor of University Center, but at this time, doing online and virtual appointments and phone. So they're a free confidential service for supportive counseling for individuals and couples for any variety of challenges, but of course including mental health, self-esteem, stress management, relationship dynamics, grief and loss, parenting issues, addictions, sexuality, gender identity, and cultural adjustment. They also offer a wide variety of group work that students can access as well, and they're a wonderful resource on our campus. Just so you know, for intake appointments, so for first appointments, it's mostly from Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. But as you continue to work with a counselor, then evening appointments can be available as well. Okay. Heather, my lovely Vanna, would you switch to the next slide for me? Thank you, Heather. And so I'd also like to discuss student accessibility services. So that's our office. So we're an office that supports students with disabilities, such as learning disability, any physical or mobility challenges, medical or chronic illness, mental health disabilities, so anything related to anxiety, depression, in that range, any acquired brain injury, hearing, deaf, vision, or temporary disabilities, so things that may happen to you during the course of your university life. So we're here to support all students that are identified as students with disabilities. So we provide academic accommodations and confidential supports. So those are things like if perhaps you were someone who needed a different space for a test, or if you needed to use different kinds of technology in order to have the screen read to you or you read to the screen. All of those things would be through our office. So we also run a large and vast volunteer note-taking program. So for students who wouldn't work with our office as a student with a disability, but are looking for a valuable volunteer opportunity, we try to recruit between 400 and 500 volunteer note-takers a year to assist students who are unable to take their own notes. So that's something that you'll see on Learn as you continue on in your courses, and we would love to have you take part. You also receive co-curricular record information on that. And then you can also be entered into some draws and things that we have throughout the year. And students report that if they do volunteer note taking, often their grades improve as a result of it because they're trying to pay such close attention for the students that they're also sharing their notes with. So something to note for our office, it is a confidential space, but we will release information as students are comfortable so that instructors know what supports they need. And students do need to provide medical documentation from a registered health professional in order to register. We as well are closed to in-person appointments at this time, but happy to see you online or by phone to get things started. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Carolyn. Next, I'll talk about student advocacy. So at the university, as you can imagine, there are a lot of policies that outline students' rights and responsibilities during their time as a student, as a member of the university community. So student advocates are available to help students navigate through some of these complicated policies and procedures. If students encounter any academic issues, any disciplinary matters or admissions issues, they can meet with a student advocate, and the advocate can help them understand what their rights and responsibilities are and help them work through some of these complicated policies and processes that we have. Some examples of academic issues that a student advocate could help a student with include things like concerns about grading, if a student needs to have a special type of withdrawal from their courses or from their program, deferring of exams due to extenuating circumstances, or perhaps a leave of absence, a temporary leave of absence from a program. So students who encounter any type of academic or disciplinary issues during their time at university or are concerned that perhaps they're not being treated fairly in some way can contact student advocacy for assistance. The goal of our office is to make sure that students are being treated fairly during their time here at the university, ensuring students are aware of what their obligations are under the area of academic integrity. So as Carolyn mentioned, for her office, the same thing applies here. We're working with students online, but we do have our contact information up here if people want to have that information and can certainly contact us. Another area of student support is spiritual care. So the spiritual care coordinator is available to meet with students to provide one-on-one support. And the goal of spiritual care is to promote student health by tending to their spiritual well-being. So the spiritual care coordinator can help students cope with a variety of circumstances, and the focus that is used is how spirituality, values, and beliefs can help promote resilience and helping students cope with a variety of circumstances and issues that they may encounter during their time here at the university. This office also provides programming and activities throughout the year that students are encouraged to watch for and participate in sort of as part of a larger group, organized around themes related to spirituality. So again, their contact information is on here as well, if anybody's interested. With that, I will turn it over to Carolyn to talk about a few more services.
Hello again. So related to the spiritual care office are the chaplains. So the chaplains work as part of the U of M Chaplains Association. So each is an ordained or appointed professional in a recognized religious body of Canada who have been called or assigned to work at the U of M in order to provide a ministry to the university. Their offices are located in University Center as well, not open at this time. But each chaplain has a separate space that they can meet with students. They also run a variety of programming at different times of the year and volunteer opportunities too that you can access and talk to them about. And then we have our health and wellness office. And I like this just because of the picture of the girl on the beach with her legs up in the air in a fancy yoga pose. Not something I could do. I'm not sure if the health and wellness educator can do that either, but we'll hope for the best. So the health and wellness office here on campus promotes health and well-being through education, one-on-one programming, and programming for students. So there's lots of different opportunities, one of them being Pets on Campus, where animals come to campus during exam session and we get to hang out with them and chill out for a little while we're studying for exams. They also run the Healthy You program, which includes drop-in peer consultations, interactive programming, resource connection. So they run a lot of really cool things on campus that just help us stay well and help us try new things as we're here at the university for the first time and continuing.
All right, so one of the benefits that you'll get to enjoy as a member of the University of Manitoba is access to a clinic. So University Health Service is a clinic available for all students at the university. So if you don't have a family doctor already, or you're in a position to switch and need a family doctor, University Health Service is available for you. They do work on appointment basis, and currently their appointments are taking place by phone or virtually. But they can help you with any issues that most clinics can help individuals with. So acute or minor care, annual checkups, they can help with prenatal care, health and travel counseling, immunizations, as well as some health programming and promotion around campus. So their website is listed here in their phone number. So if you do need to be in contact with a clinic, either as your regular doctor or if something comes up during your time here as a student, University Health Service is available to assist you. We also have case managers on campus, and they are a team of social workers who are available to help any students who are experiencing a crisis or who are experiencing multiple challenges in a variety of areas, and they need some help coordinating and connecting with resources both on and off campus to help with complex circumstances that students are going through. So for example, case managers may work with students who have health issues going on. There's issues with regard to their accommodations or housing. They may be having difficulty accessing food, transportation, immigration or legal matters, or finance or employment issues. So the case managers can help connect students with resources to help manage these complex situations, so students don't feel that they have to contact a lot of different places individually. They can help coordinate that support for you. The case managers are also available to provide support for any individuals who experience sexual violence. And they can also assist with safety planning. So if any students are in a position where they're feeling unsafe on campus or unsafe in their home environment, the case managers are a confidential resource for you and can help come up with safety plans so that you can feel more safe where you go to school and where you live. Again, right now appointments are being done remotely, but there's more information about the service on our website as well. We also have staff available at the Sexual Violence Resource Center to help individuals who might just be looking for information on the topic of sexual violence, or it's also a support service for any individuals who've experienced sexual violence to receive support and connection to resources. We do have a very comprehensive sexual violence and support and education website that has a number of resources listed on it, places where students can go in the community if they need support with regard to sexual violence. It has information about some programs and training that's available at the university, as well as information about how to support another individual who's experienced sexual violence if they disclose it to you. So we do encourage people to take a look at that website and have a look and see what information is available to you. But the Sexual Violence Resource Center is available as well between Mondays and Fridays, 8:30 to 4:30, and are also working with students remotely during this time. And I'm going to turn it to Carolyn.
So I know that a lot of you as first-year students won't be over at the Bannatyne campus, but we just wanted to take a moment to point out that all the services and more are available at the Bannatyne campus. So including, accessibility, advocacy, career services, financial aid and awards, spiritual care, counseling, mental health services. We do have a site at the Bannatyne office that has offices for all of the staff, and we're available during varying hours to be there. So in case you do have anything at the Bannatyne campus, or your plans are to become part of one of the health sciences faculties and to head over there, everything is available at that site as well. So that comes to the end of our formal presentation. We just again want you to know that student support is here for you. We know that university starting out is exciting, also challenging. And so please do reach out to any of the supports that we've mentioned here for assistance. Even if you connect with an office that isn't the right fit, we will make sure that you find the office that is the right fit to make sure that you have the support you need to continue on your degree here. So I would like to say thanks. And I believe that the chat will open up shortly so that you can ask any questions that you might have around student support. If you have further questions, we'll guide you on your way to the correct resources.
Thank you very much, Heather and Carolyn. I will now open the chat for student questions. And there you go. So as questions start to come in, I'd like to remind everyone that the presenters will be focusing on answering questions around the session topic. So if you have questions about your application, offer of admission, or student number, you should log in to the application portal and take a look for instructions or communication. If your issue is not identified there, please email admissions@umanitoba.ca. If you have questions about a study permit or requirements for international students, please contact the International Center at umanitoba.ca/international or email international@umanitoba.ca. If you have questions about program options, registration, or what courses to take, please be sure to check out our Get Ready to Register series. Sessions on course selection happen this week, June 15th to 19th, and we'll begin our sessions on timetabling and registration on the 22nd, going until June the 30th. You'll find info and registration information at umanitoba.ca/nextsteps or by searching our website for Next Steps for New Students.
I do see one question up on the chat here. What support is available for international students who are arriving to the U of M from abroad for the first time? Is there a form of free accommodation available? So as Prableen had mentioned, any questions with regard to international students, we do have an international center with staff and advisors that are specifically knowledgeable about these matters. So if you can see on the slide that we're sharing right now, you can either search for International Center on the website or email them directly with your questions. And they can let you know a little bit more about what options are available to you, with, including accommodation options. You're welcome. Does anybody else have any questions? Feel free to type them into the chat. It could be about any of the student support services that we talked about. One more thing that just came into my mind thinking about international students is that through the International Center, I do believe they offer a variety of programming and volunteer opportunities. If international students want to get involved, want to be connected with other international students, as well as perhaps be connected with a Canadian student, just to have a person to perhaps have English conversations with if English is not your first language, and just get to be a little bit more familiar with some of the Canadian cultures and customs and things like that.
I was just answering a question from someone just about student accessibility services. So I thought I would just clarify that just in case anyone else had the same question. So while medical documentation is required to register, if you want to have a consult before that, that's completely fine. So you can contact our office and one of our accessibility coordinators will meet with you in advance. And we'll just talk about what program you're thinking about, what concerns you have, what barriers you think might be at the university for you due to disability or mental health illness. And so we can do that ahead of time, or you can wait until you have your medical documentation to meet with us. So both are completely fine and both are confidential. So feel free just to reach out and see which option will work best for you. Thanks.
All right, well, I'm not, oh. So, okay. I'm not seeing any more questions. There are still a few people who've kind of joined into the session a little bit late.
Our next session starts at 11.
Yeah, okay.
Are there any more questions? The chat's still open. So I'd like to thank everyone for all of your questions and for joining us today. And stay tuned for emails about info about more sessions and programming coming over the summer. Enjoy your next session or your rest of the day.
Great. Thanks,
bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for participating today.
Yes, thank you for coming.
So Prableen, for the people who are joining late, should we admit them because we have a little bit of time, or should we ask them to join the next one?